In this video, we're going to take a look at an insurance claim demo using Viable AI. This is a simulated insurance process built to showcase functionality more so than being a truly realistic example. Before we dive in, let's have a look at a high-level process diagram of what's going on in our demo today. We start off with a claimant, here in orange, who wants to submit a motor vehicle claim. They do so by filling in the claim details on a claim form, which triggers the Viable AI decision engine. Inside Viable AI, a range of decisioning techniques are used to determine whether or not to pay out the claim. Firstly, a set of policy rules are checked, along with external cognitive services to understand the uploaded images. If any issues are flagged, the claim moves down the red path to a detailed risk assessment. The risk assessment uses machine learning techniques to determine how likely the claimant is to submit a fraudulent claim and how this claim compares to previous accepted and rejected claims. If the results of these models suggest the claim looks suspicious, the next step is to seek more information from the claimant. This is done by sending them a unique link to a chat session where they engage with the conversational decisioning engine to provide further details about their claim. Throughout the conversation, Viable AI is making decisions to drive the conversation deeper and ultimately determine whether this claim is suspicious or it's clear to pay out. Finally, if the claim still looks suspicious, a second human-in-the-loop operation is initiated, this time to pass all the claim details over to a fraud assessor. Based on their decision, either the claim is marked as clear and paid out, or marked as suspicious and reported as fraud. Now, let's see how this looks in Viable AI. We'll start by filling in the claim form using the persona of John Wainwright. John is going to make a very suspicious looking claim. This particular form is built using Viable AI, but could just as easily be built in a separate forms tool which sends all the information over to the Viable AI API. Once all the details are entered and images uploaded, my email address goes in again so I can play the role of the fraud assessor. Then everything is submitted for processing. The initial decisioning takes only a few seconds, covering all the policy rules, cognitive services, and risk assessment tasks. The result is an email landing in my inbox asking John Wainwright to provide more information. Before we click the link, let's have a look and see what's going on behind the scenes. We're now looking at the Viable AI editor, where knowledge can be captured to build end-to-end automations. You'll see in the main view here a process diagram which somewhat resembles the flow from the slides earlier. This is our top-level process flow. Drilling down into the steps, we can see the calls to Google Vision for our cognitive services check, followed by the policy rules. These are a series of simple if-then rules to flag any issues. When issues are flagged, the next step is the risk assessment, which uses a decision table to determine the result after the multiple machine learning models are run. The first is the claimant fraud risk. This tree is built using decision mining, where a table of data is uploaded and a machine learning algorithm then determines the best way to structure the decisions to reach an outcome, in this case to see how likely the claimant is to submit a fraudulent claim. This tree is fully explainable and provides a powerful extra element to the decisioning. Up next is the opposite end of the machine learning spectrum, two black box classifiers to look at the details returned from Google Vision as well as the claim as a whole and compare to previous claims. These models are continuously learning, so every case that's processed trains the models with more data. There is a vast range of other knowledge capturing, AI, and connectivity tools available in the platform. Here's a brief glimpse in the bottom left of the screen, but we won't have time to cover them all here. Off the back of the risk assessment, our example today has been flagged as refer, which then goes to the claimant questionnaire. In here, a unique link is created, emailed to the claimant, and the decisioning then goes to sleep. Now we can pick up where we left off by clicking the questionnaire link. This begins by asking questions about the personal injury claims, which John Wainwright is going to answer in a very suspicious manner. The flow of these questions is being driven by a separate Viable AI knowledge base. Once the final answer is submitted, the main flow restarts and continues to email the fraud assessor, who today is also me. We can see this email landing in the inbox, but once again, let's take a quick look behind the scenes before we click it. Here is the knowledge base behind the chat session, where a series of questions relating to medical screening have been asked to determine a traffic light status, and ultimately flag either a pass or a refer. Now let's click the Assessors link and see what they see. This dashboard provides all the details gathered or inferred throughout the process, including all the machine learning model results. We can see the policy rules that were flagged as issues, the red traffic light on the medical screening, and the flag on the uploaded image to say it's a possible stock photo. Things aren't looking good for John Wainwright. Let's mark this as suspicious. Finally, a rejection email is sent to close out the process. Quite a polite way of accusing someone of fraud. That concludes our demo, showing how Viable AI can tie together an end-to-end process with complex decisioning and multiple human-in-the-loop engagements. If you'd like to know more, please contact sales@expertrule.com.